Before we end the show, there was one other team I wanted to ask you about, Frank, and that's the Calgary Flames. I mean, we kind of all had our eyes on, well, both them and the Jets as two Western Canadian teams who had a lot of assets they were going to potentially try and move during the offseason. Um, Hannafin's still there. Lindholm is still there. Backlund is still there. Is there a reason why Craig Conroy maybe hasn't moved these guys yet? Like, what's going on in Calgary?
Well, for one, with Lindholm, he's still trying.
Mm.
And
Still trying to get him
they're
signed?
still trying to get him signed. They're optimistic. They're thinking that the longer they grind on him, the more they try and talk through this, that they're going to be able to get something done. I think they hold that same hope for Backlund. Hannafin, there's no hope. They know he's not re-signing there, but at the same time, there's no animosity there and no friction. He's perfectly willing to come back and play out the year. And I think for that reason, Craig Conroy's kind of slow playing it. Haven't gotten a no from Elias Lindholm yet. Maybe the longer it drags on, the answer becomes apparent. But until you have a clear and definitive answer, why rush to do something? Why cut off your nose to spite your face? So I think the Flames are going to take their time and sort through this and see if they can maybe get through the start of the season, maybe if it comes to that point, and see if they can convince one or two of these guys to stay.
And then let's wrap up with the Jets. Mark Scheifele is still there, and Connor Hellebuck is still there. They got an okay haul for Pierre-Luc Dubois, but again, this was supposed to be a summer where Kevin Cheveldayoff has a bunch of things going on and bought out Wheeler, traded Dubois, and they still have maybe their two of their bigger trade assets still sitting on the roster.
Yeah, it's been a little bit quiet on that front. I think the market has been really difficult to drum up for Hellebuck, and I don't know what that looks like, where he goes, how that ends up working out. Scheifele is interesting to me because, first off, I think it'll be really curious to see what it's like in that organization without Blake Wheeler. And those two guys were pretty close. At the same time, I'm a little bit surprised because coming off of a career year with 42 goals, that there wasn't more interest in this guy that only makes 6.125. And yes, you need to pay him if you're trading for him. You don't have to, I guess. You could keep him as a rental. But at 6.125, to think that there hasn't been teams frothing at the mouth to get a center like Scheifele at age 30 with the hockey IQ off the charts, that part has been surprising to me. And maybe it's because either the Jets hold him in such high value, or maybe it's because the Jets are wondering if they can be really competitive for another year with all the guys that they have. They basically added an entire line of forwards to their team.
Yeah, they certainly did improve the depth, and you wonder if next year, like, they get a fully healthy Nick Ehlers for 82 games. Cole Perfetti missed some time last year. That's a young guy with really good upside. Maybe it's not insane to think that the Jets can find a way to stay in the mix, because when you look at the way the Western Conference could be shaken up, not to be doing a whole season preview here with you, Frank, but there could be some openings there when you look at those wild card spots.
Yeah. There's a lot happening. It's
Yep.
July 10th, and there's a lot still in the mix between the Jets and the Flames